Okay, hey Riddy, this is Maria. Just wanted to say thank you so much for your comment on my video a few weeks ago. It's taken me a while to respond back in writing or otherwise because I've been going through a process of change. I guess a process of kind of mourning, grieving, rebuilding. I'm sure there's a better way for me to say it, but that's basically what it's been. That was a big loss for me, and I saw your comment because it shows up automatically, I guess, on your Google Plus window or whatever, and I clicked on it and I read some of it, and I read you say that it was painful to watch. You almost couldn't bear to watch it, and it's so funny because it kind of goes both ways because your comment to me, and I want to say thank you. I always say thank you because it's good to be seen. It's good to be understood, or at least have someone that kind of cares, virtual or otherwise. But it was hard for me to read it because when I read it, I felt genuine care and concern, from another individual, and that hurts a lot in a way, and it hurts because you're not used to that, so it was hard for me to read your comment, so I didn't read it in full. I kind of glanced over it, and I said I was going to respond back, but in order for me to respond back, I would need to be fully clothed then. And just because I was going through the process of mourning and loss and grieving and kind of rebuilding, my days haven't been like that. My days have been sitting here in semi-darkness, not because I chose to sit in darkness, because I live in a shack and basically the lighting here is absolutely horrible. But so I kept saying, yeah, I'm gonna take a day when I go out, and basically that was gonna be my day to record all of my response videos and things like that. But that day never came. The only reason that I've been leaving the house is because I ran out of toilet paper. And I had to go get toilet paper, ran out of food, so I had to go get food and that type of thing. And I haven't been recording anything pertinent or just anything at all on YouTube, like my general feelings and stuff, because I really don't like to wear clothes. I mean, I'm just going to be honest, I don't. And then when I found out that, through my mourning process, I was finding different things to lift me up. So I was, venturing to Xtube and things like that. Now, the thing with Xtube is not, I started posting there and it's not anything adult or X-rated. It's just because I don't feel like putting on clothes. And at first I was like, okay, that's how far in the dumps I was. I was like, well, because usually I would at least try to do the neck up, but it was to the point where I had to do things around the house and I couldn't do it and vlog, because vlogging is kind of what keeps me company, if you haven't noticed. I couldn't do it and vlog because if I did, then I would have to go back and edit out little pieces that you might see this or see that there. And honestly, I didn't, it would take too much for me to do, because one, I don't have the right software to do that. I could use the software that I have, but it would take me forever, or free software. It would take me forever to do it because I would have to, like each little second I see something, I would have to like try to block it out and do that for a whole movie, and so that's like crazy. So I was just like, fuck it. I still need to express myself somewhere. So Xtube was kind of a platform for that. There's nothing just like here, nothing overtly sexual or anything like that, just because I just didn't feel like putting on clothes, and I couldn't really, even though I'm a very open person, I can't really do that here. I know that I can't really do that here. I've gotten comments on just because people saw my shoulders and thought that I was nude, but I wasn't. So I think you're a great person. I want to say thank you so much for your support and your care. I think that video, from what I could tell, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just let me know. From what I could tell by your comment, I think that video, like the young people say now, affected you, made you feel a certain kind of way. I think that video, like you said, I think it did make you kind of sad, and you didn't really know how to respond to that. And most people, when they don't care, or if they don't know somebody and they're put into a situation, whether it's intentionally or not unintentionally, where they feel uncomfortable, they block that person out completely, or either they start feeling hostile to that person because my situation that you happen to be exposed to made you feel a certain way, made you feel something that wasn't pleasant or whatever. And I do want to say this, I think too that you mentioned the kind of person that you thought I was. I am that kind of person. I am sweet. I am good, and whatever. I have to say though, over the years, because of different situations that I've been through, maybe not as much as before. Before I was probably, like I say, 15 to 25 or so. I was probably 120% sweet. 25 to 30, 100% sweet. 30 to 35, 97. 35 and up, Maria's on 93% sweet, because I just been through enough, for me to just be like, maybe this isn't really, the way the world is. And so, and what I wanted to share with you, and again, this is just me skimming over your response, and I did try to go back and look at my video to try to feel what you felt. And to be honest with you, when I looked at my video, if it wasn't me saying it, I wouldn't have understood a damn thing that I said. I could barely hear myself, but it was me, so I knew what it was. And what I saw was, and what I felt was that it was very hard for, felt like I needed to speak it, to put it into perspective, but it was very hard for me to even say it because it hurt so much. And it did hurt, and I'm still suffering from it a month later. I'm trying to pick up the pieces, but the way that God works and the world works and higher power or whatever works is that, God doesn't give you more than, I need to brush my teeth, so I'm going to be doing this, but God never gives you more than you can bear. And when it comes to a situation where you're indecisive or you're feeling like you're not going to move, God is going to make a situation where you don't have any choice but to move. For example, if I want to sit in here and pout all day and be upset, and at first, to be honest with you, I didn't even know why I was acting like this, because I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why? Yeah, I've been in situations where I pouted for a couple of weeks because I can afford to, but now I can't afford to pout like that for a few weeks. I had a couple weeks, okay, I gave my stretched that and gave that to myself, but I'm like, I'm still sitting here pouting and I can't afford to do that anymore, So that was something I was like, why am I behaving this way? And then I was like, okay, I have all these different alternatives and things I could do, but I'm not doing it. Why not? And it's because I'm going through a process of mourning and grieving. And sometimes you have to realize that for yourself. No, I didn't have to talk to somebody for somebody to tell me that. Like I said, these things come to you when you're true to yourself and you spend time with yourself. And so that's kind of, what happened with me. Now, what I would say as well is that with the real world, good people go through bad things. Just because you go through bad things doesn't mean that you're a bad person, or that, oh my gosh, if she's not having this type of relationship with these types of people, then obvious, how can that happen because she's such a great person? It has nothing to do with the type of person you are. And I think a lot of times people try to assign some type of negative thing to people that negative things happen to, so that they can rationalize it. But sometimes the world is like that, and I have to say, probably more often than not, the world is like that. And I'm going to tell you, when I first went home to visit my mom, I was telling her, like, I did a couple of documentaries just about people in the neighborhood I bumped into, and I would talk to them about the history, the past, and you'll learn any person that you come across, then they're getting younger these days, but I would say 30 and up, even 20 and up now. Any person that you come across, if you talk to them long enough and ask enough questions, you're going to hit a sore spot, and usually you have to talk about people and build their trust to get that information. But there are people such as myself that, I don't have anywhere to vent, so I just let it out. I let it all out. So the majority of people you're going to find are like that. If you want to do a project together apart, we can, where maybe you interview one person a week, I interview one person a week in our neighborhood and post it, of course with their permission, because you'll find that it's true. You're going to find some good, some bad, some ugly, and some really painful heartaches. I talked to this man. It was a white man, lived not too far away from where I am, and I was thinking, oh, I was going to hear all this great stuff, this elderly white man sitting on a bench with his dog, just watching the traffic go by. And it was all good at first, but then I hit a sore spot with the military, his brother, how his brother was killed, and just all these different things. And this sweet old nice old man, his face just changed in a split second, and it was scary, let me tell you. Then I met this lady, so sweet, beautiful garden, this, that, and the other. People were calling her crazy. She was planting witch roots. I'm like, come on now, and I met this woman, and her house, You know, they were gonna have the city, and she had a beautiful garden, all kinds of stuff. You know, pineapples and this, that, and the other, and natural healing. You know, and so, you know, people are cruel. That woman didn't deserve that, and her house was taken away because she had all this gardening stuff. But I've seen a lot of people with all that stuff out there like that. You know, and I mean, just please know that just because people, sometimes if you believe in the Bible, or and the way society is now, it turns you against, you know, the teachings of the Bible, you know, and right now Christians are being persecuted. So I don't claim any religion or anything like that, but there is knowledge in everything. And I remember, you know, when I was younger, the Bible saying that, I just lost my train of thought, but basically the people that are the most humble, God's people are the ones that are most humble, that can live without much, those are the people that are going to be persecuted, because you're going to be different. You're going to be odd to the world, truth hurts. And I mean, and I remember sharing with my mom telling her the stories about those documentaries, and it's so ironic how what happened, what made that rift happen, was that there was a situation, and I don't think I may have recorded and uploaded, where there was something supernatural that happened, and my mom heard it and saw it. And we've had supernatural things like a long time ago when we were little, but it's something that happened. I wanted to talk about it, because I was like, oh, wait a minute, I can understand when I'm like 6, 7, and 8, maybe that, but shit, I'm 40 now, and you said that you heard that too, and I'm just like, can we talk about this? And she's like, no, and I'm just like, okay, fine, but can you just confirm, and it's just, and that's the thing, if you talk about something that hits the sore spot, people don't like the truth. They hide it, because the world, in order to fit into the systems and norms that are here, you can't really. And I only have 3 minutes left, and I didn't go back. I wanted to go back over and read your comments again and try to listen to my video, so that I could really give you something, that's true about what I feel. I have rats, so that's another thing on top of everything else that's going on. But and this is why another situation where I was like, wow, this is not me, because I have rats. My place is a hellhole. My money has dwindled because of the trip, and then when I came back, I didn't jump right back on my feet. I kind of let it dwindle some more because of my little funk I was in. And I was like, this is not me. I'm usually more. A lot of my ambition has been taken away. I don't know if you know my history. I don't know if you've seen some of the other channels before the initial channel you saw, but I mean, a lot has been taken, and so I'm rebuilding, and I'm mourning the loss. Mourning the loss. I got over what I thought I got over, but then it's a continual thing, And so what I'm learning now, this new revelation that I have inside of me, because I've always been a person, and it sounds like you might, I don't think you're exactly the same, but just the fact that you understand or cared enough to leave a comment told me something, that, you have some kind of roots or basis in intelligence and reasoning and love, just pure agape, just pure concern and care about another person. And that is what my root or my basis used to be, always. But at almost 40 now, how people will look at you and say, well, how's that working out for you? It hasn't. I haven't got anything from it. Okay. There's rats, just so you know. But that's why I'll be so glad. I'm doing a new job again tomorrow, that I'm going, because at first I was dreading. I was like, I don't want to go to this job. I'm all fat. It's by the beach, which is great, because I can go to the beach before work, I can go to the beach after work. The grocery store is right there, so if I need to shop for groceries, I can. But then I was just like, man, I'm like 50-60 pounds over a beach body. I can't, and the type of person I am, I don't like being confined, so I like 2 pieces. So I was just like, oh, that's just gonna be horrendous, but it is what it is. So I'm almost at the 15-minute mark, but I just wanted to invite you, let you know, I want to say thank you for your support and your encouragement too, that the real world operates, where anybody, where everybody has gone through some stuff. We're not all, it's not all black and white. Most of it operates in the gray area. And the third thing that I wanted to do is invite you, because I don't know how often I'm going to be recording on a regular YouTube channel, because I don't feel like putting on clothes. So I'm inviting you, if you want, I'll give you my Xtube information. And of course, you have to send me a private message to get that. It's nothing X-rated. It's just me talking like usual, but it's just that, you know, I'm in my natural state. So I want to say love you and God bless. And I said, ah!